Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. We are back with lecture number 21 for English comprehension and composition. Today's objectives are, we're going to talk about Prezi writing. I hope you have heard about it before. It's basically summarizing a longer original passage into a very small one. Then we'll discuss its rules and also some related exercises. So let's move on and start discussing our new topic for our writing component in this course, that is Prezi writing. Writing a Prezi. Prezi is a short summary. It is a brief original summary of the important ideas given in a long selection. Now you are given a passage, it's like about one paragraph. Sometimes the smallest is one paragraph, then it can contain more than 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, and what you have to do is that you read through it and divide or make that paragraph a very small selection of it. That is a summary, that is a very short summary, and it is called Prezi. Prezi basically is a French word derived from the word precise, and precise, as you all know, means being very to the point, very crisp and very short. Its aim is to give the general effect created by the original selection. Your original selection has a lot more detail, but what you have to do is, in a Prezi, you have to shorten all that detail up and usko बहुत short करके आप 1/3 में change कर देते हैं. If your original passage is of 9 lines, your Prezi is supposed to be 3 lines. So that's how it is. Let's talk about its rules and regulations, what you have to do and what you don't have to do, because it's a technical piece of writing जिसमें आपको बहुत important rules का ध्यान रखना है. We'll do all related exercises, and by the end of this lecture, inshallah, you will be able to make very good Prezis. Rules of Prezi writing. Number 1, read the given passage carefully at least 3 times in order to be able to grasp what the writer has said. Now the basic idea is that you have to read the passage at least 3 times. This is what I told you about when we were talking about comprehension, reading comprehension in the beginning of this course. You have to read the passage at least 3 times to develop, to get the very good solid understanding of that passage. Unless you don't understand the passage, you simply cannot make a good Prezi. So read the passage at least 3 times in order to be able to grasp what the writer has said. Underline the important points. Number 2 is, underline the important points to be included in your Prezi. A point is important if it is intimately connected with the main subject. Now when you are asked to change a longer passage into a smaller one, you have to pick up important points from your passage. उसमें जो थोड़ी सी कम important बातें होती हैं उन्हें आपको निकालना होता है, और बहुत important बातें आप अपने जो Prezi का passage होता है उसमें डालते हैं. And a point is important. When do we know that a point is important? A point is important if it is intimately, closely connected with the main subject. We just talked about essays in the last lecture, and by now you understand that your important points are that relate to your thesis statement, and you have to find a thesis statement in this passage जो भी आपको Prezi के लिए दिया जाएगा, और जो भी point उस thesis statement से related है बहुत closely, वो आप pick करेंगे और आप Prezi में डाल देंगे और आपका बहुत short summarized passage बन जाएगा. Number 3, use your own language in the Prezi. This is very important. This is one important component of a Prezi. You are not supposed to use or write, pick up phrases from the passage and put them in your Prezi. Prezi में passage के अंदर से उठाए हुए sentences नहीं डालने होते, इसमें marks कट जाते हैं. You have to use your own words. You have to change every word into a simple equivalent और उसको उसमें अपनी Prezi में डालना होता है. While words and phrases from the original may be used in the Prezi, you can use words and phrases. Whole sentences should never be lifted out of the original to be included in it. Never pick up whole long sentences and just put them in your Prezi. That would be totally wrong. That would make you lose a lot of marks. Number 4, the Prezi should be roughly 1/3 of the original passage. Always prepare a rough draft first and count the words. If you find that it is too long, shorten it by removing what seems unessential and by condensing phraseology. If it turns out to be too short, read the original to see what more can be added to the Prezi. Now this is a general idea, general way of writing a Prezi. Prezi should be roughly 1/3 of the original passage. Now to determine what the 1/3 is, you need to count the words of the original passage divided by 3 और जो आंसर आता है उतने words की roughly आपकी Prezi होनी चाहिए. Not exactly that, थोड़ा बहुत 5-7 लफ्ज ऊपर नीचे हो सकते हैं, लेकिन उतनी ही आपकी Prezi जो है वो होनी चाहिए. And always prepare a rough draft. Prezi can never be written in the neat form directly. उसमें हमेशा आपको rough draft बनाना पड़ता है. And to do that, you look at it. If it is too long, तो उसको short करें, दोबारा passage को पढ़ें. अगर वो बहुत छोटा है तो passage को दोबारा पढ़ के उसमें से 1-2 और important information इसमें डाल दें. Number 5, examples. Illustrations and comparisons should be left out of the Prezi. Examples, illustrations and comparisons. ये तीनों चीज़ें आपकी Prezi में नहीं होनी चाहिए. You can pick up their meaning, लेकिन आप exactly वो examples और illustrations जो हैं वो नहीं डाल सकते. Figures of speech should be removed and the ideas are expressed in clear, direct language. And figures of speech should also be removed. For example, if you have used a simile, a metaphor or personification, इस तरह की चीज़ें इस्तेमाल की हैं तो उनको भी रिमूव कर देते हैं, लेकिन वो जिस आइडिया के लिए यूज़ की हैं वो आइडिया आप अपनी Prezi में रहने देते हैं. Number 6, your own comments on the idea of the Prezi are absolutely forbidden. This is important. आप अपने comments हरगिज़ नहीं देते Prezi में. एस्से और पैराग्राफ में आप अपने कमेंट्स दे सकते हैं. Prezi में आपके अपने कमेंट्स, your own comments are absolutely forbidden. You have to be very careful about this. Number 7, see that your Prezi is a readable piece of English and that its ideas can be understood by even that person who has not gone through the original. This is very important. Now when you make a Prezi, your reader might not have the original passage with them. So it should be in a way कि ओरिजिनल पैसेज पढ़े बगैर रीडर को समझ में आ जाए कि आपकी Prezi किस बारे में थी. उसमें कोई भी इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट कम नहीं होना चाहिए. ऑल इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स शुड बी इंक्लूडेड बट इन अ वेरी वेरी कंडेंस्ड फॉर्म. Number 8, your Prezi should be connected whole. As such, it should not be divided into paragraphs. Prezi paragraphs में divided नहीं होती है. Even if your original passage is of 3 or 4 paragraphs, तो आपकी Prezi जो है वो एक ही paragraph की होती है और उसकी सारी thoughts को मिलाकर connect करके लिखा जाता है. Moving on, number 9, don't use the direct form of speech in Prezi. Even if there is a direct form of speech used in the original passage, you are supposed to pick up its meaning. उसे indirect में change करके उसका meaning लिखते हैं. Direct speech with inverted commas is totally not required in your Prezi. Number 10, think of a suitable title for the Prezi if it is required. In your paper for this course regarding Prezi, you will be asked to write a title of the Prezi, और अगर नहीं भी कहा है तो आपने नहीं लिखना. You have to be very careful what instructions are. Think of a suitable title for the Prezi if it is required. The title should not be a complete sentence. And you know how to write titles. Titles are never complete sentences. They are phrases or just words. Number 11, indicate the number of words in your Prezi at the end. This is very important because the examiner does not always have time to count the words. So आप अपना word count जो भी Prezi का है वो Prezi के paragraph के end में bracket के अंदर लिखेंगे. You will see the examples in the coming exercises how it is done. Let's look at some of these examples. His courage in battle might without exaggeration be called lion-like. His courage in battle might without exaggeration be called lion-like. Now we are basically talking about somebody's courage in battle. That's it. Might without exaggeration be called lion-like, and lion-like is a figure of speech. It is a simile, so you have to take it out from here. और इसका जो meaning है basically वो ये है कि वो जो भी बंदा है वो बहुत बहादुर है. So we'll say he was very brave in battle. So look at the word count here. Your first sentence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 words, and our precede sentence has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 words. So we have excluded 4 words from the original, and we have made this sentence. These are just sentences. We will be moving on to paragraphs as well. There came to his recollection. There came to his recollection. Recollection is memory, so he remembered. It's as simple as that. You're not supposed to use too many words to say something that can be said in just 1 or 2 words. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words in the original sentence and only 2 in the Prezi sentence. The account the witness gave of the incident moved everyone that heard it to laughter. That means everybody laughed at the account the person gave, so it was amusing. So we'll say the witness's story was absurd. You can also say it was amusing, it was ridiculous, it was funny. You can make it as simple as that. Absurd can be a word that will be a little difficult for some people, so you can say it was funny. Like jab logon ko hansi aayi, that means it was funny. So these were some sentences, examples. Look at this paragraph. Now take out your notebooks and pens. We'll read through this paragraph and we'll make a Prezi, and this is just a basic, very easy, simple paragraph which has 1 or 2 very important points. We'll analyze this and then we'll move on to some more technical, more advanced kind of sentences or paragraphs for Prezi. Let's read through this paragraph and decide what points are important, which are the points that are to be added in your Prezi and which should be excluded, and which are repetitive or not really important. One great defect with our civilization is that it does not know what to do with its knowledge. Science, as we have seen, has given us great powers, yet we use them like small children. For example, we do not know how to manage our machines. Machines were made to be man's servants, yet he has grown to be so dependent on them that they are in a fair way to become his masters. Already most men spend most of their lives looking after and waiting upon machines, and the machines are very stern masters. They must be fed with coal and given petrol to drink and oil to wash with, and must be kept at the right temperature. And if they do not get their meals when they expect them, they grow sulky and refuse to work. Do we have to do what they want to keep them in good temper? Do we have to do what they want to keep them in good temper? Already we find it difficult to work or play without machines, and a time may come when they will rule over us together. Now you see that we've been told in the beginning that there is something wrong with the way we use our scientific knowledge, and looking at that, we've been given an extended example of how we use machines in the modern times, and then that example is taking up most of the space in this paragraph. So you have to change the example, you have to compress the example by changing its language, by excluding the extra details, because there are things that have been visibly, evidently repeated. उन्हें आपको निकालना है. And then in the beginning, let's see, one great defect with our civilization is that it does not know what to do with its knowledge. This is an important point. ये आपके paragraph का topic sentence है. Science, as we have seen, has given us great powers, yet we use them like small children. ये भी एक बहुत important point हो सकता है, लेकिन we have to rephrase it to make it more communicative, more related to our Prezi. And then we come up with the example that we do not know how to manage our machines. Machines were made to be man's servant, yet he has grown so dependent, man has grown dependent on them, and men spend most of their time looking after, waiting upon machines. This is a related thought. इसे आप बीच में से exclude करेंगे, because when we are told that man is dependent on machine, it actually means कि आपको machine का ख्याल रखना पड़ता है and all that. And then machines are stern masters. यहाँ पे machines को stern masters कहा है. This is personification. You have to avoid it in your paragraph. and they must be taken care of properly. They are to be fueled, they are to be cleaned and kept at right temperature, and then they sometimes what they do is say they stop working, and then they again create problem. And in the end, this very important thought that already we find it difficult to work or play without machines, and a time may come when they will rule over us altogether. So now let's quickly number how many important thoughts we have. This one is number one. We have it in the first two sentences that we don't know how to use our knowledge. We are puppets in the hand of science and machines. Then we don't know how to manage our machines. This is thought number two. Then number three, that we are dependent on machines, and then we'll talk about how we are dependent on them. This is a related thought. And thought number four is that there will be a time when machines will be ruling over us. So let's see in the Prezi paragraph in the next slide whether we have all these four thoughts or not. This is your Prezi paragraph. We'll go back to the word count in a minute. We do not know what to do with our knowledge. Science has given us superhuman powers which we do not use properly. For example, we are unable to manage our machines. Machines should be taken care of promptly and waited upon attentively, otherwise they stop working. We already find it difficult to do without machines. In the course of time, they may rule over us altogether. Here we are. We have all four thoughts about science. Number one, we don't know how to manage our machines. Number two, machines are to be taken care of. Number three, and the last thought, that they would rule over us. Number four. This is how you have to develop your Prezi. And let's go back and count the words we have here. This can be done not by doing it 1, 2, 3, 4 till the end. We can count the words in line number 1 and the number of lines and multiply it, so that that would generally become the total number would be of the number of words that we have in the paragraph. So first line contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 words. Typed line contains 12 words, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 15 lines. We can exclude this last one. And 15 into 12 would be around 180. So you can make it 190. Or 175, 180 words, and dividing 175 with 3 would make around 58 point something. So your Prezi can be of 60 words. And let's see how many words we have here, and it's almost 60. It looks like it's 60. The first line is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have yes, 9 words here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines. So it's exactly almost that. This is how you have to develop a Prezi. And moving on, we'll see examples of Prezis, some exercises, and that's important in the sense that you have to focus a lot. This was just a little example, a very simple, less complicated passage. We'll start off with sentences again, do some detailed exercises. There will be some difficult passages as well, and you have to test your knowledge of the Prezi. Here we are with a handout that includes some basic tips on writing a phenomenal Prezi, and some very good examples of some sentences that are supposed to be summarized, and paragraphs as well. So let's begin. How to really write a phenomenal Prezi. Prezi is a French word. It means summary. It also means an epitome or abstract. An abstract is condensing some very longer piece of information into a smaller one. A Prezi should give the sum and substance of the original passage and convey the essential ideas of the passage given in detail earlier. We talked about it just now, that a Prezi is basically sum and substance of the original passage, and it gives us conveys essential ideas, not all the details from the original passage. It helps students in retaining the minimum from various sources, books, references, magazines, yearbooks. Now, why do we teach our students to make a Prezi? Because sometimes you're given a longer piece of writing and for your academic purposes you have to change it into a smaller whole in a very short time. जब आप अपनी प्रोफेशनल एजुकेशन में जाएंगे तो आपको थीसिस लिखने होते हैं, रिसर्च पेपर्स लिखने होते हैं, प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाने होते हैं, और एट दैट टाइम while you are doing research about the topic of your project or thesis या जो भी आप लिख रहे हैं, तो उसमें आपको किताबें पढ़नी होती हैं, आपको रिसर्च आर्टिकल्स पढ़ने हैं, अखबारों के आर्टिकल्स पढ़ने हैं, रेफरेंस बुक्स देखनी है. वहाँ से आप पूरी की पूरी इन्फॉर्मेशन को एज इट इज़ कॉपी नहीं कर सकते. यू हैव टू रीड दोज बुक्स or reference material and summarize it according to into your own words and bring it home and incorporate those ideas into your work. So ये skill, Prezi writing का skill इस तरह आपकी बहुत help करता है. It is not a paraphrase in which we will give all the details. Paraphrasing is different. You might have done paraphrasing in your matriculation and even after that. Paraphrasing is giving all the details in the same tense and same style जिस तरह से हुआ आपके पास है. Here we have to remove the chaff and retain the grain. Here we have to remove the chaff means we have to जो भूसा है दानों का वो अलहदा करना होता है और दानों को अलहदा करना होता है. That means less important details are supposed to be sifted out और important बातें जो है उन्हें निकाल के अलहदा करना होता है. A good summary or Prezi contains approximately 1/3 of the number of words of the original Prezi. It does not mean that unrelated thoughts can be put in any form. So आपकी Prezi, as I just told you, that it is 1/3 of the number of words of the original passage, and it is not supposed to contain any unrelated information. There should be continuity of ideas and expressions in a Prezi. It is also an exercise in comprehension and helps all types of people, students, professionals, lawyers, journalists, secretaries, market surveyors and researchers. Without the knowledge of Prezi writing, any exercise in report writing, speech drafting, letter description or incident, directions from the decision makers, project planning, etc. would remain incomplete. So this paragraph tells us that in what ways Prezi writing is important. The skill not only helps students, it also helps professionals, lawyers, journalists, secretaries, market surveyors and researchers. And without this skill, all kinds of report writing or speech drafting or article or letter description or any drafting from the decision makers, directions from the decision makers is impossible. जब तक आपको Prezi writing नहीं आती, किसी की बात सुन के उसको बहुत समराइज तरीके से नोट करना, ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा स्किल है जो सेक्रेटरीज और पीएज जो होते हैं उनके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. वुड रिमेन इनकम्प्लीट. ऑल दिस वुड बी टोटली इनकम्प्लीट विदाउट योर हैविंग अ साउंड नॉलेज ऑफ दिस स्किल. It is therefore very useful for the advanced students to know how to write accurately, logically and concisely. A Prezi exercise is a succinct summary of the ideas or expressions of some writer given in detail in the source material. It makes a shorter account of a long detailed version. It is a succinct summary. That means succinct का मतलब होता है जिसमें से irrelevant बातें निकाल दी हों, बहुत ज़्यादा concise and comprehensive. So that is how your Prezi is supposed to be. Without a project report, one cannot understand the various details of the scheme in question. And a Prezi is a way to turn the whole episode, description, narration, etc. into a shorter piece of Prezi report, easy to grasp and follow. So whatever you are doing, आपको कहीं ना कहीं Prezi writing, summarizing का skill इस्तेमाल करना होता है. Whether you are a student, you are a personal assistant, you are a researcher, you are a lawyer, or a journalist, or an editor, anyone for that matter. Now, how to make a good Prezi? It is an art. It is grasped and mastered by training and regular practice. That is for you. You have to be very vigilant about practicing all these writing skills. Otherwise, you will never be able to grasp them. Just watching the lectures and not actually doing the exercises won't do any good to you. Following are some points to be remembered by the Prezi writers. Read the passage as many times as possible. Try to grasp the meaning and the theme in general at first. Try to scan through the passage एंड सी के पैसेज है किस बारे में बेसिकली, और जितनी बार आप पढ़ सकते हैं पैसेज को उतनी बार पढ़ें, बिकॉज कभी कभार टाइम कम होता है. यू कैन नॉट टेक द रिस्क ऑफ रीडिंग द पैसेज मोर देन थ्राइस. Number 2, the heading of the passage should be located. This may be found either in the opening sentence or the last one. The key or the topical sentence should be found out. The most essential ideas around which the passage and its subject matter revolve should be picked. Now, till now, you have discussed with us paragraph writing and essay writing. In paragraph writing, we talked about topic sentences, supporting details, and concluding sentences. Similarly, in essay writing, we talked about the introductions, the development, organization, and all. So that knowledge will help you write a Prezi in a way that when you are asked to read a paragraph and summarize it, first thing that you can do is try to identify its topic sentence, its supporting details, and the concluding sentence. When you do that, you will be able to pick out the important information, because जो भी supporting details हैं उनकी कहीं ना कहीं repetition होगी और उन्हें आपने condense करना है. आपका topic और concluding sentence को आप मिलाकर एक बना देंगे, because वो almost एक जैसे होते हैं. They are just rephrased in a different way. So this is how your previous knowledge about the writing components will help you in making a good Prezi. Number 3, read the passage again. This time the speed should be slow. Sentence by sentence, the main points are to be noted. Examples and illustrations should be left out. Just like we did with this, the machine paragraph in the previous slides, you have to be very slow in reading, analyze every sentence, every phrase, every part of your paragraph, sentence by sentence, and note down important points. Either underline them or number them or mark them with a different color. And examples and illustrations should be left out. This is an important point. You are not supposed to say that this is the example that was given in the passage. You just have to pick up the meaning of it and incorporate it into your summary. Number 4, now prepare a list of the main points found out. After that, prepare a rough draft of the Prezi. Now, before you go over to the main points, you have to do this. Read the passage और इतनी बार पढ़ें कि आपको समझ में आ जाए आपके मेन पॉइंट्स क्या क्या थे. उन मेन पॉइंट्स की अलग से एक लिस्ट बना लें. अब उसमें से आप अपना एक ड्राफ्ट बनाना शुरू करें Prezi का. Number 5, do not use phrases or sentences from the original passage. Don't pick up longer phrases. You can pick up 1 or 2 word phrases, not longer sentences at all. Use your own words as far as possible. This is very important. अगर आप अपने words use नहीं करेंगे तो आपको marks नहीं मिलेंगे. Revise the passage you have written and check up if any point is left out from the given passage. जो आपने main points की list बनाई है उसमें दोबारा check करें कि आपने कोई point छोड़ तो नहीं दिया बीच में से. Adjustment of ideas can be suitably modified in your plan of the Prezi. Now, whatever ideas you have put in your Prezi, उनको adjust करें, एक दूसरे के साथ transition के through connect करें. If simply एक paragraph में से उठा के दूसरे में नहीं डालना है, उनको आपस में जोड़ना भी है, उनको suitably modify करें. But the sequence should give the impression of a whole piece. आपका जो भी sequence है वो सीक्वेंस ऑफ सेंटेंसेस ओरिजिनल पैसेज के जैसा ही होना चाहिए, उसमें किसी किस्म का चेंज ना आए. डू नॉट ऐड और टेक आउट आइडियाज़ फ्रॉम द पैसेज. डू नॉट ऐड और टेक आउट आइडियाज़ फ्रॉम द पैसेज. Taking out can be done unconsciously, but do not add any passage, any sentence in the summary. So, जो अपने पास से कोई idea add मत करें, because this is not something creative. इसमें आपको passage को ही थोड़ा सा modify करके लिखना है. Say briefly but accurately all the points mentioned by the writer. Be brief about them. आपके जो पैसेज में ओरिजिनल पैसेज में सेंटेंसेस लिखे होते हैं, दे आर मोस्टली वेरी लॉन्ग, वेरी एलाबोरेट, बट यू आर सपोज टू चेंज देम इनटू अ स्मॉलर फॉर्म, इन अ मोर comprehensive, concise form, and put them in your Prezi. Use the third person and past tense in your Prezi. Your Prezi is supposed to be third person and past tense. Have only one paragraph even if there are many in the original passage. अगर आपका original passage 7 paragraphs का भी है तो आपकी Prezi एक ही paragraph की होनी चाहिए. Revise your draft to check the points. Cut uncalled for accounts and details if the Prezi is still longer than the required length. A few words more or less are allowed. If the draft is clear, concise, coherent and condensed, copy out the fair attempt. And when you copy out the fair attempt, do cancel out the draft. अगर आप पेपर में कर रहे हैं तो पेपर के एंड में एक ड्राफ्ट बनाएं और उसका नीट लिखने के बाद उस ड्राफ्ट को ज़रूर कैंसिल करें और उसे अपने नीट ड्राफ्ट से कहीं अलग डिफरेंट जगह पर बनाएं. And read the Prezi again. If you find कि उसमें कोई relevant डिटेल आ गई है उसे निकाल दें, उसकी जगह कोई important डिटेल डालें और चेक करें कि आपकी लेंथ उसके वर्ड काउंट के अकॉर्डिंगली है या नहीं है. अगर नहीं है तो उसको एडजस्ट करें. थोड़े बहुत वर्ड्स ऊपर नीचे हो सकते हैं, 5-7 वर्ड्स आर जस्ट फाइन, लेकिन इतना ज़्यादा ना हो कि देखने में आपका पैसेज 5 सेंटेंसेस का होना चाहिए था और वो 10 का नज़र आ रहा है, तो ऑफ कोर्स दैट वुड बी रॉन्ग. Number 12, mention the number of words used by you in the end. This is very important. आपके हर Prezi के पैसेज के बाद आपका word count ज़रूर होना चाहिए. That is Prezi का word count लिखा हुआ होना चाहिए. And don't be untrue about that. Don't be dishonest about that because looking at the Prezi, an examiner has a very fair idea कि ये पैसेज कितने words का होगा. So try to be very honest about it. Let's move on to examples of Prezi. We have some sentences, around 7-8 sentences. Then we start off with paragraphs, and these are solved examples. We are going to discuss them one by one and see कि हमने उसको किस तरह से change किया है. हमारे हर sentence के बाद में एक word count लिखा हुआ है. So this will help us understand how to go about it. Now in these solved examples, we have sentence number 1. She spent her money in performing kindly acts for the benefit of the poor. We have 14 words in this sentence. She spent her money in performing kindly acts for the benefit of the poor. We have a one word substitute for this whole activity in English language, and that is charity. Why not substitute this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words clause with just one word? She spent her money in charity. Charity means spending your money for the benefit of the poor people, for the needy, or for the underprivileged people of the society. So your 14 words sentence would change into only 6 words. This is how you have to go about it. Now mostly while doing your Prezis, most of the times we come up with phrases जिनका हमें one word substitute मिल जाता है. कभी कभार we change longer phrases into certain adverbs जो उसके exact meaning में आते हैं. You are not supposed to change the meaning. We haven't changed the meaning here. Performing kindly acts for the benefit of the poor is exactly what charity means. We simply cannot take the risk of changing the meaning of the word. So this is how you have to go about it. Your 14 word sentence changed into a 6 word sentence. Number 2, I have no admiration for a man who one day makes up his mind to do one thing and the next day changes his mind. 25 words is sentence में है. And I have no admiration for a man who one day changes up his mind to do a thing and the other day changes his mind. इस तरह के आदमी के लिए we have a word in English language, and that is a vacillating mind. I don't like a man with a vacillating mind, and vacillating can also be changed with erratic. Erratic is E-R-R-A-T-I-C. Erratic का मतलब होता है a person who does not get set on one opinion, जो अपना mind बदलता रहता है हर वक्त. So I don't like, I have no admiration for a man को भी उन्होंने बहुत simple करके लिख दिया. I don't like a man with a vacillating mind. So 25 words को हमने सिर्फ 9 words में change कर दिया है. So यहाँ पर भी हमारे पास a man who one day makes up his mind to do a thing and the next day changes his mind के लिए एक word था, a vacillating mind, एक phrase, तो वो हमने substitute कर दिया. Number 3, God has the power to see everything and anywhere in the world, in the universe. Now This particular quality of God being able to see everything and anywhere in the universe is called omniscient. Omniscient. So हमने इस पूरे को power to see everything and anywhere in the universe change कर दिया है. Omniscient. God is omniscient. 12 words को हमने 3 में change कर दिया. That is exactly what it should have been. Divide करें आप 3 को 12 के साथ तो वो 4 words बनते हैं, लेकिन इस पे एक वर्ड और भी कम हो गया बिकॉज हैज़ से हमने चेंज करके इसको कर दिया. गॉड इज़ omniscient as it is a noun. Number 4, that which will last forever. Something that lasts forever is everlasting or eternal. 6 words को 1 word में चेंज कर दिया. Number 5, he spent his life trying to learn how to transform baser metals into gold. Now transforming baser metals into gold is alchemy. He spent his life trying to learn alchemy. 14 words, 8 words, almost half, just 1 word more. This jewel is beyond any price, an invaluable jewel. This is an invaluable jewel भी हो सकता है. This an invaluable jewel. 6 को हमने 3 words में change कर दिया. Number 7, he was cut off by death in the bloom of his youth. Cut off by death, that means he died. He died young. That's it. Why do we have to say all this lofty expression, using this lofty expression? So we say he died young. Now you see in the above examples, figures of speech, idiomatic expressions, illustrations, digressions, quotations have been avoided, and the knowledge of one word substitution has been used. Right from example number 1, we saw that we had used the knowledge of one word substitutions. That is, instead of performing kindly acts for the benefit of the poor, we used charity. A man who one day makes up his mind to do a thing and the next day changes his mind is a vacillating mind or an erratic mind. And then God has the power to see everything anywhere in the universe, omniscient, everlasting, which lasts forever, everlasting. Transform baser metals into gold, alchemy. Jewel is beyond any price, invaluable. Cut off by death, he died young. So sometimes you have to do this. आपका जो प्रीवियस नॉलेज है वन वर्ड सब्स्टिट्यूशंस का, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, आपको बहुत हेल्प करता है बहुत अच्छी प्रेसीज लिखने में. सो मूविंग ऑन, वी हैव दिस लिटिल पैराग्राफ ऑफ 69 वर्ड्स फ्रॉम सर वॉल्टर स्कॉट्स बुक, और इसे आपने प्रेसी इसकी बनानी है. और इसके बाद वी हैव सम मोर सॉल्व्ड एग्जांपल्स. लेट्स लुक एट देम. लेट्स रीड थ्रू द पैराग्राफ एंड सी कि हमारा जो प्रेसी का पैराग्राफ है वो कैसे बनेगा. एनालाइज करें इसको और देखें कि हाउ मेनी पॉइंट्स आर इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड हाउ मेनी कैन बी एक्सक्लूडेड. His dress was somewhat like that of his companion, but being scarlet showed that he was not a monk, but a soldier who fought for church and his religion. On the right shoulder of his cloak was a cross, showing that he belonged to the order of knights, Templar, gentlemen who spent their lives in what they considered holy wars against those who were not of their own faith. अब यहाँ पर इस पैराग्राफ में भी आपको you have to use your knowledge of one word substitutions. Let's see how it is used. His dress was somewhat like that of his companion, but being scarlet showed that he was not a monk but a soldier who fought for church and his religion. A soldier who fought for church and his religion is called a knight, और वो आपको आगे पैराग्राफ में भी दिया है. So you would say that his dress was the knight was different from the other person, as in his dress was scarlet. On the right shoulder, ये आपको dress की description देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. When you say he was a knight Templar, तो उसमें dress की description आ जाएगी. And showing that he belonged to the order of Knight Templar, gentlemen who spent their lives in what they considered holy wars against those who were not of their own faith. ये holy wars that are fought with those who are not of your own faith, इसके लिए भी एक one word substitution है. If you have any word in mind, try to see कि वो इसके साथ fit आता है या नहीं. Holy wars against those who were not of their own faith. Crusades. Yes, the words are crusades. Crusades उन जंगों को कहते हैं जो उन लोगों के खिलाफ लड़ी जाती हैं जो आपके अपने फेथ से नहीं होते. So this is how it is. This is how the analysis of the paragraph, and it's 69 words. Let's see आपके जो प्रेसी है वो कितने वर्ड्स की है और कैसे है. इसको टाइटल उन्हें दिया है द नाइट टेम्पलर. हिज स्कारलेट ड्रेस with the cross on his right shoulder showed that he was not a monk like his companion but a knight templar who fought in crusades. आपका जो 69 वर्ड्स थे उसे हमने 28 वर्ड्स में चेंज कर दिया. ऑल्दो इसको 3 से डिवाइड करने से हमारे पास आते हैं. Your Prezi is changed into 28 words small paragraph that gives you all the related details that are there in the passage. That is, the person's dress was different. It was scarlet in color. There was a cross on his right shoulder, and he was not a monk. He was a knight templar. और knight templar वो लोग होते हैं जो crusades में fight करते हैं. Paragraph number 2. At present, Easter meanders over 35 days of the calendar, from March 22 to April 25, to everybody's inconvenience. There is not a single business interest in the country or a single family that would not welcome a satisfaction of the timetable. Would not welcome a stratification of the timetable. 44 वर्ड्स का पैसेज है जो हमें ये बता रहा है कि इंग्लैंड क्रिश्चियन कैलेंडर में ईस्टर मियांडर्स और मूव्स ओवर 35 डेज ऑफ द कैलेंडर. ईस्टर किस दिन होगा वो डिसाइड करना मुश्किल होता है, एंड वो उसके होने का दिन शुरू होता है मार्च 22 से 25 अप्रैल तक. ऑलमोस्ट यही दिन जो है ऑलमोस्ट 35 डेज होते हैं जिसमें से किसी एक दिन पे ईस्टर होना है. तो इट इज़ टोटली इनकन्वीनियंट फॉर पीपल जिन्होंने छुट्टी लेनी है या जिन्होंने किसी एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाना है, उनके लिए बहुत मुश्किल होता है. सो इट इज़ इन एवरीबडीज़ इंटरेस्ट द कंट्री और अ सिंगल फैमिली दैट वुड नॉट बी, कोई भी ऐसा नहीं है जो कि इसकी स्ट्रैटिफिकेशन ऑफ टाइम टेबल की एक स्पेसिफिक जगह पर सेट होने से खुश नहीं होगा. सो इट इज़ बीइंग सजेस्टेड कि ईस्टर को किसी एक दिन पे फिक्स कर देना चाहिए. और इसकी प्रेसी है द प्रेजेंट मूवेबल ईस्टर इज़ एडमिटेडली इनकन्वीनियंट एंड अ फिक्स्ड ईस्टर वुड बी वेलकम्ड बाय ऑल. मूवेबल ईस्टर मतलब आपको एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पूरे 35 डेज में से किस दिन आपने ईस्टर को सेलिब्रेट करना है वो डिसाइड करना. तो जब फिक्स्ड हो जाएगा तो आपकी साल के कैलेंडर में पहले से वो डेट फिक्स्ड होगी जिस दिन ईस्टर होगा. सो यू आर looking at a paragraph of 15 words here. Out of 44 we have excluded all the irrelevant extra words और उसे हमने 15 words का passage बना दिया है. There are some more sentence examples. They are solved. He is plainly a man who has violated his oath of allegiance to the country. A person who has violated his oath of allegiance to the country is called a traitor. That is गद्दार. So 15 words को हमने 4 words में change कर दी. He is a traitor. Richard's courage in a battle might without exaggeration be called lion-like. We have done this before. Richard was a lion in battle, or Richard was very brave. So आप इसको 11 को अपने 6 words में change किया. The science of war that constituted more than rational force of Greece and Rome as it now does of Europe, and those disciplined revolutions which harmonize and animate a confused multitude, were known to the Persians. Science of war, that means the art of warfare, and disciplined revolutions or disciplined military operations which now harmonize and animate a confused multitude that are now termed to be being done by Greece and Rome, were known to Persians. Scientific welfare and scientific warfare and disciplined military operations were unknown to the Persians. They were totally unknown to the Persians. That means Greece, Rome और यूरोप में ये बहुत ज़्यादा war की training और ये चीज़ें they were in vogue, and people, young people right from the beginning were taught how to fight and all that, and they were totally unknown to Persians. So we have changed 36 words into 11 words. So these were just some basic, very easy to do examples of Prezi writing, and now we move on to some technical passages, some more difficult passages, and see how you fare with them, because that's where your knowledge of Prezi writing will be judged. Now here is another passage of around more than 200 words, and we see that you have to change it into a smaller passage, write a Prezi of the following passage to 1/3 of its length, and also give a suitable title. We'll go through this passage in a lot of detail. We'll analyze how in different parts it has been divided, iska topic sentence kya hai, supporting details kya hai, और conclusion kis tarah se diya hai, what is the writer trying to say, and then you will form your own Prezi in your notebooks as we do it, and then we look at the sample Prezi passage जो already हुआ है, ताकि आप चेक करें कि आपकी Prezi ठीक है या नहीं. Today there are 3,000 million people in the world. 50 years ago, only about 2,000 million people lived in it. If Earth's population were evenly distributed over its land surface, there would be about 550 persons to the square mile. But Earth has vast areas of forests, mountains and deserts which are almost totally inhabited. On the other hand, it has great cities, each with millions of people living in a few square miles. To feed the fast-growing population of our Earth, scientists and planners have to discover new ways to produce more. One possible way is to bring more land not under cultivation. This can be done only in places where there is a lot of land not used for productive purposes. In many places, this is no longer possible, as all the arable land is already cultivated. A second way is to make use of new types of seeds to produce more. Already a number of new strains of paddy and wheat have been developed in different parts of the world. India is one of the countries where a lot of useful work has been done in the field of agricultural research. Now, looking at this passage, you see your first sentence tells us about the rapid growth in the world population. And we are told that what the situation was 50 years ago and what the situation is now. So when we write this particular idea in our Prezi, we can just make a comparison and write the difference of population. And then the second thought is that if Earth's population were evenly distributed, it's not being evenly distributed is another very important aspect, very important point here, that the Earth's population is not evenly distributed. That is, there are cities in which millions of people live on a few square miles, and there are forests, mountains and deserts that are totally uninhabited. So ये एक दूसरी thought है important. ये 3-4 लाइंस में पहली थॉट है कि पॉपुलेशन बहुत तेज़ी से इंक्रीज़ हो रही है, दूसरी थॉट दैट इट्स अनइवनली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड, एंड तीसरी थॉट है कि इस तरह से तेज़ी से बढ़ने वाली पॉपुलेशन को फीड करने के लिए फूड रिसोर्सेज ज़्यादा बढ़ाने के लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए. टू फीड द फास्ट ग्रोइंग पॉपुलेशन ऑफ आवर अर्थ, साइंटिस्ट्स एंड प्लानर्स हैव टू डिस्कवर न्यू वेज टू प्रोड्यूस मोर, एंड देयर हैव बीन 2 ways given to do that. Number 1 is, one possible way is to bring more land under cultivation. बट इसके साथ उन्होंने एक प्रॉब्लम ये बता दिया है कि द लैंड दैट इज नॉट अंडर कल्टिवेशन, supposedly there is no such land, because most of the land is already used for productive purposes, and in many places this is no longer possible as arable land is already cultivated. And a second way that is more feasible and more developmental and more in a way better is that you do a lot of research. Agricultural scientists are supposed to do a lot of research on how to use new types of seeds to produce more. and India is one of those countries which is doing a lot of work in agricultural research. So these are some important points, some important thoughts. Let's repeat them, revise them so that we know कि आपकी प्रेसी में आप जब लिखेंगे तो उसमें क्या क्या आएगा. It's basically the rapid increase in the world population, then the world population not evenly distributed around the world, around the earth, then how to feed the fast growing population by making use of the uncultivated land and by creating ways of using new kinds of seeds. And India and the other countries have done a lot of work on this. सो ये है आपकी प्रेसी के बेसिक पॉइंट्स. इन पॉइंट्स को आप अलग नोट में नोट कर लें. जो मैंने 2 दफ़ा रिपीट किए, आपने अब तक नोट किए होने चाहिए. और लेटर ऑन यू कनेक्ट दीज सेंटेंसेस एंड मेक अ प्रेसी. टेक अ बिट ऑफ टाइम एंड डू इट. और साथ ही मैं आपको प्रेसी का जो पैसेज है वो दिखाती हूँ, सो दैट यू हैव अ वेरी क्लियर आइडिया कि आपकी प्रेसी में क्या क्या चीज़ें होनी चाहिए. Here we are. Look at the title, World Population and Food Production. आपके दोनों बातें जो हैं, पॉपुलेशन रैपिड इंक्रीज और फूड प्रोडक्शन की प्रॉब्लम्स, दोनों को उन्होंने टाइटल में इनकॉर्पोरेट कर दिया. ड्यूरिंग द लास्ट 50 years the world population has increased from 2000 to 3000 million. That's it. आपने दोनों फिगर्स लिख दिए. कितने सालों की का ये डाटा है? 50 years का. सो वो आपकी बात पूरी हो गई. इट इज़ unevenly distributed with millions of people living in a few big cities. ये आपका जो ये पूरी बात थी, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम दिस सेंटेंस टू हियर, इट हैज़ बीन चेंज्ड इनटू जस्ट दिस लाइन. It is unevenly distributed with millions of people living in a few big cities. So that's how you have to do it. You have to identify the important, the relevant pieces of information and change them into very small, concise sentences. Scientists in India and abroad. Now, why are they referring to India? Because India का यहाँ पे जिक्र आ रहा है, and other researchers also are talking about it. Scientists and planners have discovered new ways to produce more. So आपने उसको उन्होंने इकट्ठा कर दिया. Scientists in India and abroad are therefore busy with agricultural research to do what? To find out new methods of increased food production to feed them all, and they have already developed many new strains of paddy and wheat. सो यहाँ पर आपकी एक और इम्पॉर्टेंट थॉट जो आपके पैराग्राफ की थी, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम हियर, ये पूरी की पूरी आपकी सिर्फ इतनी सी लाइन में लिखती है. So this is how you have to go about it. This is what you have to do regarding your Prezi. You will be given passages in the paper in your exam or in the activities that you do, and this is how you do it. Prezi के लिए पेपर में at least 20 minutes ज़रूर बचा के रखें, because that is the minimum time maximum time you can spend, and minimum time you have to spend on your Prezi. You need 5 to 7 minutes to read the passage at least 3 times, underline important points, make a list of the important points, and then connect them, keeping the transition words and smooth flow of the thoughts, और ना repetition भी ना हो, difficult words ना आए, और इसमें कोई भी जो words हैं वो passage के sentences pick नहीं किए, अपने words में लिखा हुआ है. So these are the things that you have to be very careful about. Now let's do another exercise to help you understand what the essence of a good Prezi is, and this is a passage that does not contain a lot of difficult words. It's very simple, and there are main points listed there. First we read the passage, and then we talk about the main points, and then we see how the Prezi has been developed. Well then, learn to regard yourself kings of circumstances. It is true that circumstances often make the man, but it is also true that man often makes circumstances. That being the cause, the better plan in life is to work so as to create and influence circumstances, and not to allow yourselves to be depressed by defeat or obstacles. Take courage, be hopeful in all your undertakings, and act in a mainly self-restrained spirit. He who does so alone succeeds. Many who advocated great reforms and undertook to make their people great began to be under the great difficulties, but in the end they triumphed because they had faith without relying on the others for help. And hence it is that we are so often told, and told very truly, that faith can move mountains. Bear in mind, my younger friends, and from now, when you are young and can more easily acquire good habits than when you grow to be man, begin to acquire. Now, the passage is basically about a person being slave of circumstances or trying to affect their circumstances. We are told that we are supposed to accept our circumstances as they are and not to be depressed by defeat or obstacles, because that's how it is. जो आपकी किस्मत में है वो होगा, so उस पे आप परेशान नहीं हो. Have courage, be hopeful, and behave in a self-restrained manner. And if you succeed, try to be happy with that. Men who advocated great reforms and undertook to make their people great began to be under the great difficulties, but in the end they triumphed. And difficulties के बाद ही इंसान की ज़िंदगी में success आती है, and it's because of the faith and without relying on others for help. Now let's look at the important points that we have in this passage without looking at the Prezi. Number one, man, instead of being controlled by circumstances, should control himself. Now, शुरू में उन्होंने ये ज़रूर कहा है, it is true that circumstances often make the man, but it is also true that men also make circumstances. लेकिन इनमें से किसी एक क्लेम को उन्होंने बाद में सपोर्ट किया है, दोनों को नहीं किया. And that is, man, instead of being controlled by circumstances, should control himself. अपने आप को उन्हें एक certain level और control में रखना चाहिए. He should not be disheartened by failures and difficulties. Yes, that's another point जो यहाँ पे बताया. Take courage, be hopeful in your undertakings. And men who advocate great reforms often see great difficulties, but in the end they are the ones who are successful. Great men who achieved success had to overcome hardships. Example दी हुई है. Man should have full faith in himself and in his work. And while young, he should develop the habit of self-reliance or self-dependence. We are told here, bear in mind, my younger friends. This is an advice to youths. So इसमें और किसी का कोई जिक्र नहीं है. We are basically talking to young people. We are instructing them to understand or develop the habit of self-reliance or self-dependence without relying on others for help. And now let's look at the Prezi. Man should not allow himself to be controlled by circumstances. He should conquer them himself. He should not feel disheartened by defeat or hindrances. He should do his work with courage and self-reliance, and like great reformers and great men, he will overpower difficulties and will succeed. While young, men should develop the spirit of self-reliance. That's it. यहाँ पे आपके बहुत लंबे लंबे sentences थे. It was a kind of poetic passage. बहुत sentence structure को ऊपर नीचे किया हुआ था, लेकिन यहाँ पे आपने उसको बिल्कुल simple, छोटे, short, crisp sentences में उसकी Prezi बना दी. And look at the length of this passage and look at the length of your Prezi. This is this small. So that's how you have to do it. It's basically about focusing on the details. All you have to do is you have to read your passage at least twice or thrice. 3 is enough. 3 would be more than enough. बहुत ध्यान से. It's not just reading, it's reading with comprehension. यहाँ पे reading comprehension skill भी आपका काम आएगा. Keep your pencil in your hand. Start underlining the important points at the second reading. First reading में आप सिर्फ passage को समझने की कोशिश करें. In the second reading, start underlining the important points and then make a list of those important points. And later on, read through those important points and connect them, taking out all the repetitions or using transition words, ताकि आपकी जो Prezi है वो बहुत smooth flow में चले और उसमें extra words भी ना हो. Then count the words and see कि आपके word length पूरी हो रही है या नहीं. अगर ज़्यादा है तो उस पे से cut करें words को, और अगर कम है तो 1-2 और points add करके उसको पूरा करें. That's how you have to go about it. Here we are at the end of lecture number 21. We did Prezi writing today. Prezi is a French word derived from the word precise. Precise, in fact, is the word that has been developed from the word Prezi. Prezi means summary. And basically what you have to do in Prezi writing is there is a longer passage that is the original, and you have to read through it, take out the important points, and develop a very small summarized passage out of the main points. It is the 1/3 of the whole original passage. You have to keep the meaning of the passage. We discussed all the rules, including some of the very important points, that it's the 1/3. You have to use your own words. Sometimes you have to give a title as well. And there shouldn't be any repetitions, and always write the word count at the end of the Prezi paragraph when you make the Prezi. And we also did some exercises, some sentences, and some paragraphs also, and that would surely help you understand or enhance your knowledge of Prezi writing. This is the end of lecture 21. We'll see you in the next lecture, inshallah. Thank you very much.